Hi everyone, my name is Mary and I decided to make this video because I'm really passionate about learning languages, and I decided to share some tips or pieces of advice with people who also want to learn or have decided to learn a new language or are already in the process of learning it. So I can speak 5 languages and I'm planning to learn more because I just genuinely um, enjoy it. And I want to say that it hasn't always been. For example, when I had to learn a new language, I also knew from the beginning that it's not going to be easy. But what's really important is to stay disciplined and motivated. But I'll tell you um, more in this video. We'll go more into detail. Okay, so the first piece of advice that I'd love to give you is to have a goal right from the beginning. It doesn't have to be your end goal when it comes to learning a new language or an objective, but at least set some small goals, and not just for a day, but let's say but for a longer period of time. It could be a month, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months or longer, just based on maybe what the reason behind you learning this language is. And the reasons could be different. It's very individual. Some people learn a new language because they decide to move to a new country due to their studies or work or any other reasons. As I said, it's very individual. But there are also people who just want to learn a new language for fun because they just enjoy learning languages, either, or because they just want to acquire some new skills, or because they're interested in the language that they want to learn. So as I said, it's very individual. I'd love to know what in your case, what is the reason, why did you decide to learn this language? So you can leave your answers in the comments below. I'll be happy to read and to know why others decide to learn a new language. And so, as I said, it's very important to have a goal. Right from the beginning, you should know that there'll come time, or one day you'll wake up in the morning, or it doesn't have to be in the morning, it can also happen throughout the day or in the evening, anytime, but it will eventually happen that you just won't have any motivation on that day. I'm not saying that this will be long lasting, but at least for a day, for a week, and so on. And what's really important is to stay strong and stay motivated, or motivation is the wrong word, because if you're not motivated, then what's important is to stay disciplined. You should stay disciplined in those moments, and honestly the motivation will come, because this inner feeling that I'm really excited to learn the language, this can fade away once you come across a difficulty. And believe me, difficulties will come. Even if you already have some foundation and you know that you're very confident at the beginning, you should know that there'll be that you will come across, it could be let's say some word expressions that are more complicated, or it could be grammar, anything, reading, pronunciation. There are so many different things, and you might say to yourself if this was the right decision, if you really want to learn the language. And then if you give up in this moment, and you know that you want to learn this language, or at least you knew this when you started learning the language, I'm sure that if you give up, then later on you'll regret, and you'll regret not because you can't learn the language, or you can't continue learning it later on. as well, but because you lost so much time and you also lost your progress. And so it's very, very important to have someone or something or your inner voice, inner strength or power. Mm, there are some people, or each person finds this um, um, let's say motivation from different things. Yes, so just bear this in mind, be well prepared, and preparation is so important. And uh, when it comes to learning languages, it's not sometimes, or at first sight, people might think that most importantly, we should know what our goal in terms of being able to, let's say, communicate on a certain level, or read, or be able, or to learn how to pronounce words, that this should be your first goal. However, it's not just about technical things or materials that you have to gather or collect before um, starting this process of learning a new language, but it's also about your mental preparation, because as I said, if you come across a setback, your first difficulty, and you don't know what your next step should be, and you just start panicking and not knowing if you should continue or if you should give up, or if you should do this in a year, continue doing this in a year. You don't know, and this is the worst situation, because this means that you were not well prepared, even though you gathered all these books and materials that you wanted to use for learning the language. If you're not mentally prepared, you'll just have to throw this away, all of these, because at the end of the day, you won't really dedicate your energy and time to it, because you won't be disciplined, or you won't be motivated in that specific moment to continue. Okay, so let's move on to the next tip, because we've already talked about this, the mental preparation, to be prepared mentally. Now let's focus more on the technical side of it, because it's both are very important. So there should be a balance, and you should know that both are very, very important. So let's focus on both. That should be your task, your first task, after your decision to learn a new language. I'm sure that because I personally have worked in a language school, so I'm very well familiar with the concepts of language levels, and it's people, when they decide to learn a language, they always have this level in their mind that they want to achieve. It could be, let's say, if you're a beginner and you're starting from scratch, it could be A1, A2, then B1. Then if you're more advanced, there is intermediate, and then there is advanced, so B2, C1, and then of course professional, C2. So you always have this in mind. But what's really, I see from my own perspective, how I see languages and how I look at it, is that it's a more natural process to me. Of course, these language levels are also important because they say something about your ability to speak, or to read, because there are more parts. There is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So it says a lot about all of them, but this is mainly important for your, this could be, necessary, even a requirement for your study, so university or work, as you have to, a lot of times people have to take an exam and then get a certificate and then show it at work and uni so that they can study or work in a specific country. But for you, it should be a more natural process. Of course, um, you, I mean, from the learner's point of view, from the student's point of view, you should say to yourself, okay, so now I'm able to have conversation on a basic level with someone. I'm able to speak about my hobbies. I'm able um, to tell others about my day and even my future goals, and I'm able to describe some activities, some basic activities that we do throughout the day and so on. So you can, when you already have this, you're able to describe what your knowledge is, then you can also add more and even improve and know what you have in this basket of, let's say, uh, knowledge. And then there comes the third tip or advice, and that's to notice things around you throughout the day. So, for example, if you're outside, let's say you're shopping, you went shopping and you're now in the supermarket, and you just look around and see the things around you. It could be some products, it could be people, people, people's clothes, what they're wearing. It could be the building itself or the inside of the building. There are so many things around us that we can actually notice, and just try just first of all, of course, you can always speak to someone. I'm sure that there are many people who will be glad to have a conversation with you, or when you need something to help you. But this is another topic. We'll talk about this too. But what I want to say that it's that you can actually prepare these conversations in your head beforehand, even before having them in real life. So what's advisable in this situation is to look around and to notice things around you, which means to see and to be prepared, let's say, for a conversation that you might have in the future in the same place that you are right now, and so that you can actually prepare yourself. And you can even associate certain things with conversations that can happen in those places. For example, as I mentioned, the example with the supermarket, there are so many different products, which means so many potential conversations. And of course, it doesn't mean that you're looking for something right now or in that moment when you are noticing those products around you, but it's advisable to create this conversation, as I said, in your head. So to give an example, to make it more clear, you can you notice a bar of chocolate that you find really delicious at first sight when you look at it, or it might even be your favorite chocolate. And so you just try to imagine the situation that you don't know where the chocolate is, and you ask the shop assistant and they help you with this. Then you might even have a short conversation with the shop assistant, telling them how much you love the chocolate, why it is this chocolate your favorite chocolate, and then you can ask them if they also have a favorite one, and this is how the conversation then moves forward and flows, and then you can even come up with more expressions, more topics, and so on. But in that moment, the only thing that you should care about is the idea or the thought that you want to convey. So don't really think much about your grammar or anything else. Just focus on what you want to say, what is your let's say goal in this particular conversation, and that's it. And believe me, people will be glad to talk with you, and you'll learn a lot from just this one, even short conversation alone. It can be very, very useful. And now the last tip for this video, and that's related to the materials or books that you should use to learn a new language. So first of all, I know that there are so many different books on the market. Really, there are so many different materials, workbooks, student books. Even I'm not just talking about this, books themselves, student books, but also a lot of articles online, audio books, videos. So there is plenty of this stuff online, and not just online, also in bookstores and so on. So I would recommend you to choose one particular book that that this the quality is high, that you have read, let's say, reviews of other students that have already used the book to learn the language that you want to learn. And so this is a better source of information than to collect, let's say, dozens of books, and at the end of the day, not really know which one to start from. So as I said, talk with other students and know what has helped them. You can find forums online or just reviews of the books, again online, and or you can also talk to your friends, or if you're learning a language in a language school, so with your tutor. And I'm sure this will be the best option when it comes to choosing a specific material or book for yourself. And it could be one book, it could be 2 or 3 books, but it's better to have less but a quality material than more but you don't know which one is the one that will be the best fit for you. So yes, this was all for this video. I'll be glad to share more, and I also I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas. So if you ever come across my video, feel free to leave your let's say point of view or any tips that you think is important to know for students, for other people who want to learn a new language or any other skill, and we'll be very grateful. And see you soon in another video. Thank you.